How's it going, Hail Stalkers? Happy Friday. It's Lead Meteorologist John Choquette, and it's 12 p.m. Central Time, which means, yes, again, we have our daily hail forecast. Again, here every single weekday at 12 o'clock, and we'll have a forecast for you tomorrow as well, because it looks like we will have some storms leading into tomorrow. Before we get into our forecast, obviously we just got a couple little things to go over. Basically, just make sure you watch us on our app. If you don't watch us on Facebook, check out our app. You can view it by clicking on the little lightning bolt icon in the lower right hand corner of your screen when you log into your app on your phone. It'll bring up the video, and if you want to see it larger, click on that and rotate your phone to landscape mode. You can see us in full screen, and make sure you have those notifications set up so you don't miss any of our forecasts, any of our alerts about large hail, or if we're mapping in your area. And of course, if we have any 2-star or higher maps available for purchase or to be viewed if you have a subscription, select those regions you wish to get the notifications for, and of course the methods of which you'd like to be notified. Push notification on your phone, email, or on your desktop computer. Now, going into tomorrow, there's no forecast for today. If you guys watched yesterday and you saw that very small chance of the Houston area today, that kind of washed away not too long after we did our video yesterday. Unfortunately, it fell apart. Don't have much today, but tomorrow we continue to look ahead at, this is my preliminary forecast for tomorrow, from starting in the morning, honestly, through the afternoon into the overnight hours. Right now we're saying a conditional threat up to golf ball size hail, and by that I mean basically things have to kind of line up just right to have hail up to golf balls. I think more likely just marginally severe hail is going to be possible for a good chunk of southern Arkansas, possibly far southeastern Oklahoma. I think that's kind of stretching into the Shreveport area, Monroe, Alexandria, even down towards the New Orleans area. I think there's going to be some storms forming probably pretty early in the morning, probably 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe a storm or two, and even then I think those might be really kind of pushing it to get the severe side. And then later on in the afternoon, the better storms may form, and that's the conditional threat of this is, can we get storms to form later in the afternoon that are stronger, that are more isolated? If there is a lot of rain in the morning, and this is a problem we've had a couple of the setups so far, it kind of washes out the atmosphere from any instability and really minimizes the threat. You see, I took away the Houston area. I think the cap is going to be too strong in that area, and I don't think anything is going to form there, which is sort of unfortunate, but I know for a lot of you guys who are hoping for big storms to happen in this basic area here. So yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking for tomorrow. Not a huge threat. I think once we get into the springtime more and storms are actually occurring, this type of threat would be just kind of a footnote within the larger, grander scheme of things. So I think things are really going to be a little more subdued tomorrow. I'm kind of erring on the side of caution. The past couple setups have kind of failed to materialize, and it's looking like signs are pointing to this as well. So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that seems to be what's going on. I can show you guys a little bit further just like what we're seeing in terms of what the models have here, and you can see we move forward through the day. About that, guys, I disconnected the mic with my foot. My bad. But anyway, so you can see here, if we move a little bit forward onto your Saturday, you see storms, a lot of activity down in the Gulf. If this really occurs, this will really keep the amount of moisture down to the Gulf. And some storms forming in the morning, and you can see just a lot of rain during the day. And a couple of these storms could be severe as we move through the afternoon. And then by the end of the day, it's pretty quiet. So I think tomorrow is going to be pretty low key. I think just a couple storms in the morning. We'll have a forecast in the morning for you. Chances are I'm probably going to do it from my house, and it's probably going to be earlier than noon. So keep an eye out for that notification. I have an eye doctor appointment right around noon. So I have to get the forecast done beforehand. And if there are storms going on, then we might be talking about just ongoing forecast. In the meantime, I can show you guys also before I go, just looking ahead beyond this weekend. I know we've been kind of talking about the potential for some storms moving forward to the second half of the month. And the computer models are hitting that point right now, which I believe is a hard time figuring out when the pattern is going to change. And latching onto it. You can see here in this model, this is the American model. We go through this week, and things are pretty quiet this week. I think it'll be another storm probably up in the northeast again. And then we get towards the end of the week here, and we see that system moving in. This is around St. Patrick's Day again. This one, looks pretty vicious moving forward. And the other model, the European model, is nowhere near as strong. But just the fact that something is showing up is the reason why we're looking. This would be this would be pretty impressive on Sunday here, actually. Yeah, and on Saturday. I mean, being pretty impressive on Saturday across the southeast. So we're watching this system moving towards St. Patrick's Day, and then after that, the models just kind of don't really know what's going on. And things, it keeps trying to switch back to this pattern that we've been in, and I kind of have a feeling that things aren't going to stay that way. I think after we get to next weekend, the models may change dramatically for the remainder of the month and start to kind of indicate that pattern change that we've been alluding to for the past few weeks. And that is my personal opinion. I mean, we'll kind of see as things get closer. I've seen this happen quite a few times before. The models latch on to a certain pattern, the pattern we're in right now, this cold pattern in the northeast, and this big cold air just coming in from Canada and everything. I think that is going to start to kind of fall apart and change as we move forward from there, second half of March, and then into April and May. So that's what we're expecting. I can answer any questions you guys have now. I think it's pretty quiet here. But for those of you just joining in, I can pop back into the, just pop back into the forecast map for you guys. And that is what we're expecting for tomorrow. Those of you just joining in, I don't think Houston's really going to see too much. I think most of Texas is not really going to see too much tomorrow. It's going to mostly be in Louisiana, into Arkansas, and possibly even into Mississippi as well. Best chance for hail, I'd say, probably be that northern Louisiana area, Shreveport to Monroe. Probably storms forming in the morning, probably 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, maybe even a little earlier than that, with marginally severe hail. And if we can get some clearing, if we can get storm, not as much convection, much rain in the morning to fire up or just move out pretty quickly, we could see some stronger storms forming in the afternoon, and that could pose a threat up to golf ball size hail. We'll have a full forecast out tomorrow morning. Again, it won't be at noon, it'll be before noon, probably around 10 o'clock. And so make sure you have those notifications turned on so you don't miss our forecast in the morning. And of course, you can also just watch it again on Facebook, on the app, or on our YouTube page, Hail Trace, or even on our website on the desktop computer, the Live Weather Center. It'll replay the most recent forecast. And just make sure to follow our posts on Facebook and make sure you set it to see it first. So that way we're right at the top of your news feed. So if you sign in a little too late tomorrow to see our forecast, they'll be right there for you to see at the very top of your news feed on Facebook, whether it's on your phone or on your computer. And that is all we really have for you today, guys. I'll see you again tomorrow morning for hopefully a couple decent storms that we can squeeze out. And the waiting game, I think, may just kind of continue as we move closer towards the St. Patrick's Day weekend. I think next week is going to be fairly quiet as well. Hopefully the weather can change up a little bit, get a couple surprises here or there, and things can start getting active once we get that second half of March. Have a great rest of your Friday, guys. I'll see you tomorrow in the morning.